Hey guys, here's your next lesson on absolute value. This one will be pretty quick. So let's talk a little bit about absolute value. You may remember seeing it on the pre-test that we took on integers. It was at the bottom of the worksheet on the left side. And a lot of you skipped it and a lot of you tried it, and both are great, and I just want to make some clarifications before we move any further. The definition of absolute value is the distance any number is from zero. So not the opposite. This is very different from the opposite. The opposite of 8 was -8. Absolute value is just the distance. Like if I counted how many spaces on the number line it is from 0, what's that number? The symbol that's used are these two lines that you see here, these two long ones, and then with a number in the middle here, where this letter A, this variable A, could be any number. And you'll see these long lines. Let's look at some examples. I have a number line that'll be used to help us a little bit. So the first one is, what is the absolute value of 8? So I'm going to put a dot on 8, and I want to know the distance from 0. Well, here's 0. So I can count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the distance from 0 is 8, so that is my answer. Now let's talk about the absolute value of -7. I'm going to change colors. Here's -7. Here's 0. What's the distance? So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces takes me to get to -7. So my answer for the absolute value of -7 is 7. Now press pause and try to do the next two. Find out what the absolute value of 0 is and the absolute value of -45. Alright, now that you've done that, let's see. Well, here's 0, and the distance to it is 0 because I didn't have to move anywhere. -45 is way over here somewhere on our number line, and it would take me 45 spaces to get there. What do you notice about all of our answers? They're all what? They're all positive. So absolute value is basically the positive version of that number, because its distance will be that number, and you can't have negative distance. Now, there are two more things here. These are websites I wanted to show you that I will put on my resources on Ch6, that if you would like to practice them, you can. The first one says Absolute Value Practice. If I click on it, it takes me to this website, that AAA Math. You guys have probably seen this before. It gives you a little definition of what absolute value is, but then if you go down here to where it says Practice, you hit Start. It says, what's the absolute value of 820? Well, 820. I can check, and then it gives me a new one. The absolute value of 151 is 151. The absolute value of 552 is 552. The absolute value of 691 is 691. Gosh, only positives. The absolute value of 625 is 625. Let's see. The absolute value of 308 is 308. The absolute value of -241 is 241. And you can just keep going and making sure that you're doing the right things. The other game, or practice one, is absolute value versus opposites. That one, the link might not have worked. IXL absolute value I've already gone there. I'm doing the 7th grade one. This one is going to be making sure you understand the difference between opposites and absolute value. So you have to read the questions carefully. This one says, what is the opposite of 6? So that would be -6. This one's asking, what is the absolute value of 2? So that's 2. Then again, opposite of 7 is -7. And this way you can make sure you know the difference before you take the test, because there is both questions on the test. I hope you enjoyed. We will continue practicing this more in class. See you guys later.